I'm just helping you to understand that when you're planning for a goal, a goal or trying to achieve a big goal, sometimes the support, you don't need you alone to make it happen. You will need support from people, from friends, from even, opportunities online, resources online, and all of that was what helped me in planning a successful launch. And talk about how I was able to pay the caterer, the meat seller, and to also, pay the lady who did the balloon decor. It was basically miracle, and this miracle did not just is not just a miracle that did not require some effort from my part or some action, specific action. And what was the specific action I took in paying, in paying what was left off of the payments for the DJ, the caterer, the maid seller, the balloon decor woman. It was me believing that, being sensitive enough to know that when I tried my Venmo card, my Venmo app at a store for when I was trying to buy chocolates, and I was able to use Venmo, requesting my Venmo account to pay on my behalf, even though there was no fund there. I just realized that if that worked, I could do. I was sensitive enough to try it when I was paying the meat seller, and it worked. And then I tried it when I was trying to pay the beef seller, the caterer, and the DJ and the balloon decor lady. And for some, in a very amazing way, I was able to take care of all those bills, even though I did not personally have money. So my Venmo card somehow paid these people and was waiting for. So the process, the logic here is the payments will be processed by my bank from my checking account or the account number that is connected to my Venmo. And the same way, I was able to, also pay my loan by charging my bank to make the payment on my behalf. Now, the logic or the truth now, the conclusion or the reality then is, since my bank is going to be able to pay all of this on my behalf, all the funds that I'm expecting and going to then have, I will move into my bank account. Okay. And so far, I've been able to pay all vendors minus, I think I have at $500 left to pay and then I also have $500 left to pay. And yes, there are two other pending payments that I have sent. I have requested that my bank take care of, but those two payments are pending. So once I take care of those two pending payments, as well as the payment for my the other payment that is not pending, whose link will be released to me this week, would be released so that I could complete that particular payment. I will be done taking care of everything, book launch related. So at the end of the day, I was able to have a memorable book launch. I didn't have $1 in my account when the idea came. I did not even have the resources to take care of all the bills or all the expenses, because the hall was $2,005, DJ was $350. So when you calculate $2,005, I paid $500 to the caterer, $500 for the t-shirts. I also paid about, more than, in fact, close to $1,000 for the editing of my book, the print, the editing, the proofreading, the as well as the shipping of the African shorts. That was about $1,000, right? I also paid. Now, I did not tell you how I was able to have physical copies of my book for my launch. God is taking care of me, seriously. And I want you to say to yourself that God is taking care of me. God is taking care of me. Eledumare is taking care of me. And now I know it. I've experienced it, and I would keep experiencing it. And that is why I want you to also know that God is good. I mean, God is faithful. A lot of times, you know what? Let me not digress. How my book was so by the 3 days to the book launch, we were still busy trying to finalize the re-editing, because I was not happy with the re-editing, and my editor or the book company said they were not going to be able to, print my book until, no, they said to me that the proofreader would need 2 weeks. And by then, I think it was 23rd or 27th. I was 23rd. I was like, the book that I'm launching on the 31st, and you're telling me a proofreader has to proofread for 2 weeks. I said, well, let me use Grammarly, and I will sit myself down and edit this thing myself. And I had to re-edit and re-edit and re-edit. In fact, I edited like up to 15 times, because I knew that I was pressed for time, and I needed to I needed to have some copies for the launch. Now, it's not like the book is no longer a work in progress, because some changes would come into the book even later. But of course, those would not require major editing, would just require that maybe we're reprinting or trying to get partnerships or getting publishing support here and there. But by the time everything was done, it was 3 days to my launch. Guess what? There was no way they could ship the books from Nigeria. And so I was like, how do I now have physical copies at my launch? I called some companies in Tuscaloosa. They were not printing. I mean, they didn't have the facilities. It was then that I said to myself, wait, though, let me even check. I think I started checking printing companies in Tuscaloosa, and then I had to Google the university and see if the university had a printing service company. And then I saw University Printing Services, and then I called them up, and they said they could print my book, but that they had other projects at hand. And we did some back and forth, and were able to get them to print my book. In fact, they printed on the day of the event. They started printing from money, and before an hour to my book launch, we had 50 copies. When I was going to pick the books, girl, I didn't have money. There was no cash yet. There was even no money in any credit card or debit card or whatever. But I went in there. When I got in there, I said, I came to pick my books. And they're like, okay, have you paid? I said, I haven't paid, but the invoice has been sent to me by so and so, and the plan was for me to wait till the books are ready before I could go ahead and pay. And guess what? They said, okay, that they were going to release the book to me, and I could go with the book, because I told them, hey, I need the book for my physical launch. And so I took the books with me, and I was able to use my book that day. And guess what? I still did not have money to pay them by the following day. And so I had to request that a friend send payment on my behalf, because I mean, there was nothing in all of my cards. My credit card, everything done red. So a friend had to make payment on my behalf, and I had to pay this friend back by doing the same thing I was able to do using my Venmo, but using a PayPal, because this friend didn't, the Venmo thing suddenly was no longer working. The magic that I had been doing with Venmo stopped working, and so I had to use PayPal, and it worked. And so now the only person that I'm owing is my bank, my checking account, my own personal checking account. So at the end of the day, I did not break a bank to have a memorable book launch. I had a successful event, memorable pictures. In fact, I paid the photographer as well. And at the end of the day, I have pictures, I have video, I have facts, content that can actually help me make back all that I had spent during this event. And by the end of June, as the Lord lives, or I should be able to share with you updates on what I've been able to do with the content, by sacrificing ahead to have a launch, by risking resources and everything to have this book launch. I will come back here by end of June or end of July or later. I mean, I'll keep updating you as I begin to get more support regarding this book, because my goal is to become fucking rich with my pain. I've gone through a lot, and I went through a lot launching this book, and I cannot but not be rich, be wealthy, like be prosperous, be famous, courtesy of this pain, of this trauma that I've had to go through. And so making sure that I put the book out there, launching it, was the first step in actually having the success, the glory, the recognition, and all the things that I want. And so you may think about my story or what I've shared and say, can I do this? This is a big risk that BM took. That's why I said I'm going to update you along the line when I begin to reap the reward of everything that I did. And I must tell you that, see, the law of attraction works. What you think about, you come about. I thought of having a lunch with people surrounding me. I wanted 100 people, but at the end of the day, I had about, I think, 45 people inside the hall and about 5 people coming. I had 35 people in the hall during the lunch. I had 50 people at the end of the day, because about 10, I had 45 at the end of the day, because about 10 people came in later during the after party. And even though my goal was to have 100 people in the hall, I ended up having roughly 50 people in the hall, which was success, especially because it was a weekday. People were just leaving work, and some people could not stay long. Some people joined online. Yes. So if I calculate everybody plus the online audience, I had more than 50 people attend my book launch. I mean, on a weekday, and at a time that is the summer. And guess what? It was a memorable one. And I'm so happy that I was able to pull that stunt. And guess what? The next phase is I'm going to come back here and share another big testimony about partnership with organizations that would fall in love with the story and take it up and push this project for me and help me support this project. The other thing that I'm going to share with you by the end of June or first day in July, is regarding the manifestation of my car and the manifestation of a job opportunity that I'm trusting God for. You see, the reason I'm sharing all of this is God can make magic. God can make things happen with us, through us, irrespective of our trauma. And my life is a living testimony of what God can do no matter what you're going through. And I hope that you learn from my story that it does not matter what you have gone through or what you're going through. What really matters is what God is doing with you. And I hope that you learn. And I guess that I should create a playlist section about manifestation. So I'm going to create a playlist section using this as the first content for manifestation. When my car comes, I'm going to come share about the car manifestation story. And when I move to Chicago eventually, and in fact, I'm trusting God for the car by the end of this month, and I will be able to share the manifestation of an amazing, beautiful apartment with you in July, because by then I'll be settled and I'll be sharing that manifestation by the time I'm fully settled, showing you my new apartment, the new beautiful house, and all the amazing things that I'm going to be doing in Chicago. So I will be coming back here to share with you all another kind of manifestation. And of course, I will share with you towards the end of the year, the major manifestations, the love manifestation, and of course, some other goodies that I don't want to talk about now until later. I've come to learn to keep doing the work behind the scene and, talk about it when it comes to fruition. Thank you for watching, because I know this is really long. I hope you find this useful. And if you did find this useful, please let me know in the comment section. I love you. I'm rooting for you. And I want you to know that you can do great things. and you can do anything. No one can stop you except you. Abundance is here. There is no lack.